this is a woman breaking the ceiling glass, shattering the ceiling glass once again. We cannot wait to see what she's going to bring to the table. But Banyana have been, faced with a lot of defensive problem, and this defender is one who can solve the problem. But what happens when she announces her retirement? We've got joining us all the way from New Delhi, India, Naledi, Aphane, our broadcast journalist. Thank you so much, Naledi, for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. It feels good to be back.
It's always great to have you. And now we're talking Women's Matters. I know a very long time, a lot have been wondering where Janine Van Wyk has been. She's not been with the team in a long time. And the team has been conceding a lot of goals. You can tell from just the just concluded international friendly, the Banyana Banyana had. So what will the Banyana Banyana gain at her return to the squad?
I think for me, first of all, the return of her to the national team, it is just basically to honor her and let her have eventually 185 caps and being the most capped defender on the continent, or footballer rather on the continent. So for me, I feel like it has nothing to do with anything else, but it's just honoring a legend who's played really well, who's done really well. And of course, that's how you give back to people who have served the country like that. I don't think Coach Des. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe she will just be played for a single game, or if for both games, then we will know where we lack as a team or what we need if we do have that such a defender as her in the team, which is what, like you're saying, that our defense has been non-existent. We've seen it and also been a bit exposed at the World Cup that our defense need a lot of work to be done. So hopefully with Janine returning to the World Cup, or to the squad rather, she will be able to just instill a few more things in the defenders that are in the team, and hopefully we see a team that will be solid at the back.
Okay, a lot have these reservations that she feels so lucky because there was no such honor for Tembi and Denny and others who had announced their retirement away from the team. Do you also share these reservations that maybe because it is Janine Van Wyk and that's why she's been honored this way to return back to the team before she announces her retirement?
I do feel like it is a very fair thing to be done.
Okay.
However, it should have been applied to everybody who has done incredibly well, serving for the national team. So I don't really want to go into politics, but I do think that everybody else does deserve to be honored
Because
like this.
I'm sorry to butt in. There's been an announcement that she will be honored at that game for the Olympic qualifiers against DR Congo. So she's returning just to be honored. Now, a lot of people have reservations about that.
Yes, they do have reservations. My views is I don't really have a problem with that. However, it would be nice if more players as well, just like you saying that other players, they don't receive the same honorary thing. I feel like maybe bring in somebody else who was not honored then to make it a very fair thing.
Okay. We'll be waiting to see if Desiree Ellis will do that. But the Banyana Banyana defensive line has been really weak without Janine Van Wyk. And I know her return right now will bring a boost, maybe bring a boost to the defensive line, because Banyana Banyana have not used the number one goalkeeper and Dile Dlamini for a very long time. We did see that at the World Cup. But now she's returning to the squad. What happens when she leaves again? Will there be other defenders who can learn from her? We only have Nokomotlu, who is the most experienced defender at the backline for the Banyana Banyana. What happens if Janine Van Wyk announces retirement and leaves? What happens to the defensive backline of the Banyana Banyana?
I mean, of course, we do know that this is just going to be for the two games that we'll be playing against DR Congo.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that during her stay there with the team, she'll be able to instill so many things in the team just to make sure that the defenders...
Will 2 games just be enough? Will 2 games just be enough to be able to, tutor other defenders to be as good as she is at the back line? Would 2 games just be enough?
No, definitely not. 2 games won't be enough. So hopefully after this, they'll still have a little camp or something that they do with her to ensure that she instills every single thing that she knows and she has learned throughout the years as a defender. And she teaches it to the people coming after her, because we do have a problem that we need to solve in our defense.
Okay, we're waiting to see if Desiree Ellis will take advantage of the presence of Janine Van Wyk in that team. But the South African Banyana Banyana will have a game today against Ivory Coast. South African Banyana Banyana have not been so good coming up from international friendlies, especially coming from that game against Eswatini. But at this time, Coach Ogu-Obaroh says he would love the Banyana Banyana to take a leave from the Springboks, South African Springboks, who had a stellar performance against England. Now, do you think this is enough to motivate the Banyana Banyana to get back to winning ways?
It has to be. I feel like every single time there is a match that the Springboks are playing, I mean, they're doing so well in every single match that they play. So every single time they play, we go back and say, Bafana Bafana has to do the same thing and make us happy. And I do believe, based on the conversations that I do have with the players, they really do want to bring back the glory days, the 1996 team that has won the AFCON. They want to recreate that. So hopefully they will be able to do it next year at the AFCON. However, they have to perform well now in the friendlies. I believe that the friendlies are just practice matches for what's going to happen next year. So if we do fail to beat teams like Eswatini, then I think our problems need to be solved as soon as possible.
Okay, they've got Ivory Coast for their international friendly today. And Ivory Coast shared the same group with South Africa Bafana Bafana for the AFCON 2024. Do you think this is a good preparation for them going into what would look like the finals of the finals at the AFCON?
Definitely. If we beat them today, then we know where our strength is. However, if they do beat us today, then we do have to go home and just go back to the drawing board and fix the errors that we made. But I do hope that they just win this one. Imagine having back-to-back goalless draws, or even worse, coming back home with a defeat. I think Coach Ogu-Obaroh does not want that.
Okay, we'll be waiting to see the outcome of that game today. Naledi, thank you so much. You look spent, but I'm very sure that you get back to get your rest at this time. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. See you soon.
All right, it's a pleasure to have you, Naledi, there.